Morning everybody. I believe we all have been struggling through the traffic since morning and Bombay roads just add up like Gurgaon. So welcome to next step and this is we start with Impact Investors Roundtable. We have some of the pioneers in the industry who have knowledge and rich experience for more than a decade in the space of impact investing and CSR. And the flow of the day would be, we would be first having the roundtable session, followed up with you all would be pitching. So we have, I believe all of you all are still not over here. We are still waiting for many of you all to join in. So I would introduce you to each one of them. And we have Miss Priya Kapadia. She is the partner and head of Marico Social Innovation. We have Mr. Anurag, and he heads Avishkar. Avishkar also has it also provides platform for angel investors through Intellicap. Then, yeah. Then we have Mr. Janesh. He's the senior investment manager with Wilgrow. Omnivore. I'm sorry. Maybe
that's Chakravarti, right?
Yeah, he's from Wilgrow. I'm sorry for this. Maybe we'll just start with it.
A correction, I'm Priya. I head Marico Innovation Foundation, and that's the CSR arm of Marico Industries.
Okay. Marico is very well known for the social.
Yes. Yeah, the scale.
Yeah. We are waiting for Arijit. Arijit is the founder of Virtual Infocom. He has also helped us in engagement with entrepreneurs, and we are waiting for Ms. Sanjukta Raiguru. She's the MD of SBI Foundation. She's also on her way. So welcome on board, and I really appreciate you all for making it possible to be in and supporting this platform and taking time out to listen to all the budding entrepreneurs and listening to the new innovative ideas. So I have few questions for you all. So when you all invest in companies, what are the criteria that you all see? Do you all see whether they already have a pilot model or whether it's in the ideation stage? So any criteria that you all look into before investment?
So first of all, can I speak? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Marico Innovation Foundation does not invest in anybody. We actually invest we do not invest money in anybody. We invest our time and effort in helping organizations grow their business. So we help them solve business challenges that is stopping them from scaling up. But I think our criteria for identifying innovative organizations is fairly similar to any of the investors around, and maybe they could endorse or counter it. We look at 3 or 4 things. One is we look at the innovation or the idea. If it's a me too, if it's an imitation, if it's something that's been done before that doesn't excite us, we do not touch it. Second thing is we look at the entrepreneur and the team, the core team. If it's a single person that, scaling up that organization is going to be very difficult. If it's a core team of professionals that are working very well together, and when we meet them, we get a sense that they're a good team that's really keen on doing business. That kind of an organization excites us. And the third criteria is intent to scale up. A lot of great teams are happy with doing what they wish to do, and then and our objective is to scale up. So if that intent and that desire and that greed and that want to scale up is not there, then the organization doesn't fit into our bill. So these are 3 criteria, apart from the fact that we go to the market and understand all those due diligence, etc. Look at their financial structures to see whether they're making losses, because if you're making too much losses, you cannot scale up if you have sustainable business model. But the three core things are the idea, the team, and the desire to scale up as far as I'm concerned.
So I'm with Avishkar. We are early stage investors, so we actually do invest money in companies. We have invested in about 50 odd companies so far in India. Avishkar was started in 2001 with the idea of investing in rural India. That was the initial theme. But broadly, over a period of time, the team has evolved into investing in businesses that are catering to low-income populations. So either trying to increase their income in some form, or reducing vulnerability. So essentially provision of essential goods and services. What we look for is we raise capital from investors in the funds that we raise. So we need to generate a return on that capital. So we definitely look for business models that have the ability to scale, like she was mentioning. And we don't mind going in early. In fact, a lot of companies, in almost 95% of the companies that we've invested in, we are the first institutional investor. So we like to go in early. About 60% of those companies we've gone in even pre-revenue stage. So we don't mind sort of sitting with the entrepreneurs. Our learning has been that like she was saying, it's important to have a team. So we've backed entrepreneurs, people who are trying to do good, but we've realized our learning over a period of time has been that it takes a lot of time to build a solid team. So we now look for a team upfront which has the ability to scale the business quickly. And we look for opportunities where there is a lot of scale potential along with that impact that we're looking for, because we are also accountable to generate a return on that capital. So yeah, that's the thesis of it.
Okay, maybe later. Any exit strategy that you all worked on?
Yeah, I can talk about it. We've made over 20 exits out of the 50 investments that we've made. Obviously, some have been very good. Most recent one was Equitas, which went for an IPO. We invested before the company was in the first go round. So obviously, it sort of played out very well, both in terms of commercial returns as well as what we were trying to do from an impact point of view. And there have been situations where it hasn't worked out, so I can talk about those.
So hi, I'm Jinesh. I represent Omnivore Partners. It's a food tech and health tech venture fund. We are an investor which focuses on innovation which could transform the way how Indian agriculture works. When you say Indian agriculture, it's all about small scale farm holders. We started out with a fund which is intended to make a lot of money, because we think when we invest, we want to help companies create a scale, because we believe that unless you reach a scale, there is no measurable or no significant impact you are creating for a country like India. I mean, helping 20,000, 50,000 people in this country is sheer waste of time, right? If you can scale up, because if the company does well, and not all companies do well, they should be able to handle 5 million, 10 million stakeholders. That's the kind of scale we intend to do about it. As a fund, we come very early in the companies with three simple criteria. One, we'd like to see if there's a great entrepreneur and a team around it. That's the foremost criteria. The second is, do we think in next 5-7 years the company can scale up and be a leader in that category what is targeting? Whether it's an agri-biotech or is targeting some kind of a product innovation or farm mechanization, can it become number 1, 2, number 3, and that's the kind of scale we are talking. And third and most important, which is, can we make an exit? We as a fund are very clear that if you don't see an exit where the companies are doing great business and get me an exit from the fund, because I need to give money back to my investor with a significant IRR. So that's what we do. And our most important, our 30% or 40% of our time of while doing diligence goes on answering the third question. How are we going to get an exit? We really cannot make a statement that, okay, after scale we'll worry about how exit happens. If there is no roadmap to exits, maybe we are not the right sort of investor. That's what we tell people.
So I am Chakravarti. I represent Willgrow, which is based in Chennai. We are a social enterprise incubator. Started out in 2001, and we have seed funded 119 innovations till date. Predominantly our intervention is in pre-product, pre-revenue and pre-scale. So those are the three stages we sort of iterate. Not really, I would say, idea or just in paper. At least there need to be a proof of concept, decent understanding of customers. So that's why we can come in. Willgrow's core lies in two things, which is hardware-based physical product innovation, which are hardly any today incubator or investors to fund. So there are only few among them. For a country like India, that's hardly, 15-20 is not a number. So hardware physical product innovation has been the core since 2001. So out of our entire portfolio, 85% falls under that category. And the second core, which has not changed in the last 16 years for us, is the social impact. When we say social impact, it's not environmental impact or anything to do with drudgery reduction. We really want to see what is the increment or decrease in cost for the underserved populations for India or underserved families. So that's been the core. So the other, in terms of criteria, I eclipse what the other three peer panel members said, which is the entrepreneur and the team, because entrepreneurship is a very long journey, especially if you take healthcare innovation. Even to get the product out in the market, it's going to take like 4 to 5 years. So a lot of perseverance is needed. So that's core for us. Social impact I spoke about, and apart from that, after funding this 119 seed funding organization, if somebody like Avishkar Omniwood doesn't come into as a investor, downstream investor after Wilgrow funded, I think the social impact has no value at all. So now we, with a critical lens, we look at what is our roadmap to be a downstream investor for us. So that's one of the core criteria.
So, but for that, is that possibly one of the reasons why you set up Mentera?
That's very true. So we recently launched a fund called Mentera, which is impact focused. So Wilgrow largely plays out on the incubation stage. Mentera is more to do with the seed fund round, which sort of bridges the Wilgrow and Series A investor.
And
So
how
we are
would you measure the social impact?
in terms of measurement of social impact, there are two ways. So any company that's coming in, as I said, most of them are early stage, pre-product, pre-revenue, but still for us, measurement of social impact starts even when we are doing a due diligence on them. So it's again not like exit, okay, as and when the company puts a product in the market, we can measure social impact. So that is very core for us. So we develop the social impact metrics along with the entrepreneur on a customized basis on the two criteria that I spoke about. How is the increase in income happening? How is the decrease in cost happening? Customer and end beneficiary can be very different. And we build these two metrics integral to part of the business metrics of the company so that it gets measured and reported. So that we are not going out of the way and measuring using an auditing agency or doing things. So that's how we are doing it.
Welcome Arijit. He's our engagement partner for entrepreneurs, and he has himself invested in 8 to 10 other ventures, startup ventures. So my question was, when you invest in startups, what are the criteria, if you have any exit strategies for them?
Sure. Let me first define what are the kind of stuff that usually we do as an investor. I've been playing a role of angel investor since 2004, although I have a very few company portfolio, specifically in the innovation sector. Innovation doesn't mean only technical, it can be non-technical as well. While doing that, I've been in touch with few other individuals who are crazy enough like who can think different and do something for India. That's one of the core reasons right now I'm representing an organization called NRI Startup India, which is basically created by 27 odd NRI guys sitting in Silicon Valley, Australia, Singapore, Netherlands. All of them are Indians, thought to do something for their mother country, and I believe that, okay, fine, if we have to uplift our Indian ecosystem, whatever we saw in the world, if you take an example of China, Japan or any upcoming countries, there are three key things which usually defines a country. One is the design lab that is there inside the country itself. Second is their own NRI guys. And third is how a country is scaling up in which sector. So there must be a key sector. Like if we take an example of a country like Estonia, Estonia will have only two different kind of stuff. One is technology, one is beer, right? So here we are talking about a large number of pool of people, which is counted in crores. So how we can impact those number of CRs with actual leaders. So that was the core policy of NRI Startup India, and each and everybody put 5 million each to make a fund, multiplied by 27 guys, and it's a pretty new fund. We started approximately I think 6.5 months back, took up office in Ahmedabad, invested in two different kind of business already. One is into solar industry, another one is to renewable energy kind of stuff. The kind of company that usually we look upon is a team. The team is very important. We are not looking for, frankly speaking, ideas. Sorry for my rough words, ideas are best for the dustbin. Okay, until unless it is executed properly. We need executed plans. Maybe the organization is running in loss, maybe he is earning some kind of revenue, doesn't matter. If the intention is right, there is some kind of social impact, it is doing good for the community, and people are happy, usually invest. I'll give you one live example of a lady where I put my money in. She was doing dry flower manufacturing with 3 employee strength, looking for scaling up, looking for money, couldn't do well in banks, couldn't do well in other different factors. She is not well versed in English. Okay, so in my last speech in IIT, somebody asked me that whether you take care of educational qualification as a criteria or not. For me, trust me, it's not. It all depends on the passion. Okay, so when I started investing into this small organization, 3 people company, it scaled up to, within a year, scaled up to 135 employee strength. Okay, so that's a completely different kind of story, and the product line has been defined in a very different way. One of my core strength is making products, making viable products. That product can be anything. So this is how we usually, or rather I usually go and I usually look into a company. If you ask me personally, I usually don't look at exit strategy as a strategy, but I find an exit route in a different way. As an organization, NRI Startup India or the Middle East Fund that I represent, there certainly we look for exit route, and we have a perfect strategy for that, and we take care of the things before we sign up any kind of contract. Sorry, that's my phone. So I just landed few hours back, so that's it.
Any personal experiences with entrepreneurs that you all have nurtured since a while that you would like to mention over here? And what is your expectation apart from ROI or SROI? What is your expectation from the entrepreneur? Do you all have any term sheets that you all ask them to give, and while you all are nurturing them, what are your expectations from them?
I think what I would ask is very different from the rest, because they fund and I don't.
Yeah.
I think what has worked for us is entrepreneurs that have really keen on, they have understood what we can offer to them. Because we don't offer money, we offer, say, mentors, senior mentors like senior Marico members who are very good at supply chain management, very good at brand management, very good at finances, and try and help get those mentors to come and help the organization solve the critical problem that they're facing. Right? So help them with finding the right logistics partner, help them finding the right supply chain partner, etc., etc. We also bring in CEOs like like Ravi Venkatesan from Microsoft, Sanjeev Aga from ex-Idea Cellular, Rajiv Bakshi from XMIT. So we have like a mentor pool of Marico members, we have a mentor pool of CEOs that are actually working, spending maybe anywhere between 80 to 100 hours per year with an organization. So I think when an organization appreciates that and starts working on solving the problems that they face is when we get our wow moment. If we offer it to them and they're saying, yeah, great, but they do exactly what they wish to do, that's when the whole disparity happens. And hence, the fitment and the need and the requirement has to be very clear for us. We have in our portfolio organizations that have seen great value, have actually moved from 3,000 livelihoods to 25,000 livelihoods, moved from 18,000 livelihoods to 1.5 lakh livelihoods in a year's time with our intervention. At the same time, we've seen organizations in our portfolio that have stagnated because, or that they're doing their work, but they're not able to understand our intervention. For us, that is a big challenge, or it's a wish that I wish that they would understand it a little better. Yeah.
Any one experience that you would like to cite over your success story kind of?
So it's not a success story, it's a very interesting continuum that we have. We were working with an organization, a livelihood project called Yuva Parivartan. We've been with them for like 3 years, and they had a problem where they could not bring organizations, they could not get livelihood, people coming in to sign up for livelihood projects, and then we changed their business model. And then as a result of the change in the business model, they moved from 18,000 livelihoods to 1.2 lakh livelihoods in 1 year. And we were very excited. And then we said, okay, this is a great time to exit. So we beamed off. We said, okay, you fly on your own and we're happy to see you proceed and all that. And something in us said, okay, come back after 1 year and present to us. And we called them over for a presentation. Only to realize that where they were, they stayed for the next 1 year in that number. They did not grow at all. Because we taught them how to do the business, but we did not teach them how to sustain that business. We did not get them SOPs in place, we did not teach them HR processes in place, and they were having problems with these. That's when we realized that possibly doing an input-output is not really a solution, but actually figuring out, we may solve one problem, that may lead to the next problem and then next problem. So then what we did was, okay, we've understood that, is there something talking? I'm getting a little distracted here. Thank you. So then what we did was, we said, okay, now we've understood that you managed to grow, but we need to sustain your business. So we're working with them on an app, we're working with them on HR process. More importantly, we said we'll change the way we look at things. We got some of their RSMs, their sales heads, to shadow our sales heads, because it's a similar model, right? They have people going into the field, we have our ASMs going into the field, and it's a very similar model. So we had them say, we had 2 ASMs, 2 of their regional heads, shadowing our regional heads for like a week. Then they went back in December. This happened in December. We again got them to review with us in the month of April. We became the presenter. What we realized was really exciting. What they did, what the business that they did, or the number of livelihoods that they generated, or they trained in the first 9 months, was equivalent to the number that they trained in the next 3 months, because they got into business best practices that they did implementable business best practices. So that is a kind of thing that we hope to do and we hope to achieve. And that's, if you ask me, is one of my favorite examples. I have a lot. There's Sarul. Actually, Sarul is a very, very good example that we have, where they came in, I think, with just a machine and a fabulous idea and a great product. All of us have tried it. It's a great sanitary product. And right from, I think, their branding, their designing, their, where should they market, whether it should be in a place like Dharavi, which is urban poor, or a rural poor in the peri-urban market. They were thinking of, I think initially they were thinking of going to the rural areas, and we said, no, I think rural marketing is very different. You should start where you can have more control. So we had 2 pilots done in Dharavi and in Karjat, and we figured that Dharavi is not a market for us because the challenge is not in Dharavi, there's too much of competition. And now they're looking at scaling up in the peri-urban and then taking it forward. So with them, what we did is we got a very senior marketing mentor, and there was me and a colleague of ours. 3 of us were working very closely with them. And even things like Perths, because many times we say, okay, I think y'all should go to Karjat. But then what do you do in Karjat? How do you do it? What should the project be? What should the process be? Once you decided to launch, how do you work backward? What should your plan be? What should your plan be? All those things, I think we sat together. We used to have 3-4 hour workshops where we sat together and we worked the whole process, and we actually used to review them every month. Right? And then we felt that they're flying, so we said now we'll meet them after 6-8 months, and then because then our funding was their challenge. So now funding is something we don't do. Once you get back, we'll then come back to the next level. So yes, I give you 2 examples.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we look for in our entrepreneurs is the perseverance. I think that's a very important quality, especially because we do a lot of work with professionals who are moving towards entrepreneurship, and we also work with guys who very young fellows who are sort of getting into it. But by and large, most of the people we funded are not family businesses. These are professional people who run things at certain scale and then are moving towards entrepreneurship. And that means a lot of things change for them, right? There is this paycheck at the end of the month, a fat salary which you have to suddenly give up. So what we look for is how much out of their comfort zone are they willing to come, and what is so we look at intangible ways to figure out, are they sort of ready to get out of their comfort zone. Because we sort of get involved at the drawing board stage where the business may be not sort of set up, so we get fairly heavily involved in strategizing with them at a very broad level in terms of where is the market opportunity, how should we go about it, and we believe if we are going to back somebody, they know the business better than us, but are they receptive to ideas, and can we have a logical conversation with them, as opposed to they just being sort of stubborn and things like that. Even from an exit point of view, what are they thinking or what are their motivations for the business? And it's okay if somebody is sort of starting a business which may be impacting a lot of people, but his personal motivation is to make a fair amount of money. But we're looking for that honesty from the entrepreneur rather than coming to us in a different garb and saying something else but meaning something. So we look for those kind of things. Just an example that I can give you. We funded a company called Utkarsh in my hometown. I come from Banaras. So there's this ex-ICICI Bank guy, Govind Singh, who used to head microfinance in ICICI. He actually came to us. He actually wanted a job in one of our portfolio companies. We convinced him, why do you want to do a job? Why don't you? So we actually started from that stage where you actually kind of convincing the person that instead of taking up another job to get into entrepreneurship. So even that stage. He himself comes from Uttarakhand, so he wanted to go to Uttarakhand when we sort of got to that stage. But we said, that's not necessarily the best area to start because it's a hilly area, sort of not densely populated. So we convinced him to go to Banaras. It's been a very engaging journey, and obviously all credit to him for having built out what he did. And they recently got the small finance bank license, and they've gone from zero to about 1,500 crores of portfolio. They serve close to 8 lakh, and then they're doing a lot of interesting stuff, not just micro loans. Equitas is another story, but the Milk Mantra again, UK returned person. Jharkhand, the dairy that we set up, those guys wanted to run a cow farm. But we had success with Milk Mantra, and we said, we have a similar issue here in Jharkhand, can we sort of learn from that? So lots of stories like that. But the idea is, can you, and again we look for that, so it's a sort of a gut thing, it's very hard to put it on paper, but does the entrepreneur have the hunger to go out and achieve and, against the odds, fight it out, get out of their comfort zone?
What is the venture that the Varanasi guy is leading now?
It's called Utkarsh. It's a small finance bank.
Okay. So it's a microfinance.
It used to be a microfinance entity, still does micro business, but now it's converting into a bank. In fact, they're going to launch maybe around November, December this year. They will launch the bank. It's going to be the first bank out of UP, which is India's most populous state, headquartered out of there. And they're going to launch simultaneously with 100 plus branches, 108 branches. So offering a whole bouquet of banking services to those clients.
Retail banking and loans, everything.
Yeah, loans, savings, insurance.
Excellent.
Cool. So when we invest, we look for a few things. I mean, from an entrepreneur, whether it's ability to take any risk. I think we think it's very important for entrepreneurs. They are like in the Bollywood movies heroes. Right? It's truly a fact, right? Everything revolves around that, right? And if they are not enterprising enough, they are not willing to go out of the comfort zone, not willing to put the entire net worth at stake and say, I want to go to make it big, right? Because unless he is there, we don't look for people who are saying, I'm doing a job, if you give me money, I will start a new business. We don't like those people, right? We like people who say, I have just taken the plunge, I moved out of my comfort zone, right? If something doesn't work well for me, I'm going to lose my shirt. And that's very important for us. We think someone putting that risk perspective, saying that, okay, I'm going to make it right. And then there's a passion, right? Every entrepreneur entrepreneurs needs passion. I think that's a basic critical requirement. I don't think that's going to be good to have, it's necessity. Because not everyone can be entrepreneurs. It's very lonely to be at the top, right? I mean, you guys are entrepreneurs, you know how difficult the journey is, right? I mean, from the comfort zone of getting a salary on first day of the month, trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to do salary for next 5 employees, right? It's a painful journey, right? And who's going to do that? Guy who has so much of passion, who's willing to put everything on stake, can do that. So that's what we look about it. Then we look about, is this guy really wanting to do big, right? Some entrepreneur saying, I'm going to do something for few people. I'm going to do something, I'm going to create a 5 crore company and feel good about it. Maybe it's a 5 crore good company, he's going to make a lot of money. But we look for, can I take this company pan-India? Do I want to take this company outside of India and solve a similar problem? We look for that kind of a expansive mindset right now. He doesn't have a roadmap. I mean, everyone who comes, all entrepreneurs, I've been investing for the last 10 years, right? And every entrepreneur comes with a great sexy business plan. It's junk, right? You never achieve that business plan, right? Either you overachieve or underachieve. If you achieve dot to dot, you're made a bloody fraud here. It's very simple. So we don't worry about business plans, but we look for real mindset. Can this guy go big? And we encourage him to take more risk than what he wants to take it. Because we are willing to back him. We're willing to go for losses. We don't mind losing money for few quarters, right? But if he can get the unit economics right, he can scale up faster. It's good. A lot of people think about saying how to get profitable business. I'll make 10% IRR. I mean, it's okay. Even if you don't make money, what the investors will do, right? We have a bunch of people who needs to deploy money. And if every entrepreneur starts making profit, what are we going to do, right? We need people who can make losses. No, I think that's all generally, all VCs in the world want it. We encourage people to go faster than what they're growing it. We tell them to invest 2 years forward capacity. We invest in the sales team, expand the factories. I mean, that puts a pressure on the entrepreneur because there's a fire under, right? And that helps him to move faster, that helps to scale faster, and that is what we look for. I mean, sometimes we all get burnt out. I mean, so we don't mind making losses, we don't mind. But if the entrepreneur has made genuine effort, we try to help him out. And if he's doing a second venture, we don't want him investing again, right? It's always the case. So that's how we look around it. We don't worry about the IRRs, the business models. I mean, that's something which we spend 5-10 minutes discussing with people to understand whether he or she knows it. And that's what we do about it. I mean, most of my entrepreneurs are like that, right? I mean, the most known entrepreneur is a company called SkyMet Weather. I mean, 5 years ago, I mean, when we came in the business, everyone's saying how is everyone going to, who's going to pay money for weather, right? But Jatin knew that it's not about weather, right? He wanted to create a fintech company, become a backbone of crop insurance claim settlement, become a backbone for the banking sector to understand where they should open the branches. I mean, he has a bigger network than IMD's network, more than the Indian Air Force's network, right? We have more data about than the IMD is sharing with people. And we're working with insurance companies, we're working with farmers, we're working with enterprises. And we are not saying that we're going to change the lives of farmers. We're not going to tell, okay, I'm going to increase your income or not. But we're going to say, we're going to give you few information which you never had it. We give you weather information, we give you yield information, and we're trying to hedge your risk. Will all farmers accept my solutions? Maybe not. And it's impossible for an enterprise to solve the entire country's problem. But there are a few progressive farmers. You create a center of excellences, and then people will follow after that. And that's how you create scale, and that's what we look. So we really look at saying, can this guy make a very good product which can scale up fast, right? We don't like investing in services model to some extent because India itself is 30-40 countries within one federal state, right? If I do a scale up in Maharashtra, it's difficult to scale up in Gujarat. You require to restart again. But if you're making a good product, and India needs a lot of product innovation, I agree with Chakra that as a country we've not innovated a good product, right? We got the world's biggest talent of great engineers. All the innovations happening in NASA and Valley are done, I mean 30-40% of innovations are done by Indians, right? Why the heck we can't do for India? And that's what we believe. So we really spend time on saying, can we make a great product? And products are easy to scale up, and products are also easy to exit. Because the day you grow on the J curve and you're able to move from that curve at the threshold level, the growth is phenomenal. I mean, services companies take longer, right? I mean, you look at Infosys, it took 30-40 years, it took 15 years to get the first Y2K to happen around it. But look at startup people who are making products today, right? The Uber kind of mode, the Ola kind of it, it's a product company. And that scales up much faster. That's what we look around it.
I would like to introduce Ms. Sanjita Raiguru. She's with us. She's the Managing Director for SBI Foundation. Welcome, ma'am. We just started with what are your criteria to invest in entrepreneurs, the exit strategy, and what is it that you would be looking for entrepreneurs over here, and generally when you would invest or support them. So we have Ari. Would you like to mention something about it?
We're going to continue after something.
So just taking a cue from Jinesh's point, I think at the broad portfolio level, whatever we have seen is two things are important. One is I think the early stage businesses undergo a lot of iterations. Because of market opportunity, you have to change the business model quite a lot. So one key parameter that we sort of look out is how open are they to ideas, which Anurag spoke about. So mentoring is one of the key component of our offering apart from seed funding. There are two, for any business there are two critical areas. One, there is a functional expertise to run the business, R&D, finance, marketing, sales. And then there is a sector side to it, which is even agriculture, if I put it, it's a very large sector. So there are sub-segments within agriculture, say irrigation, precision farming, there is inputs and things like that. So a person who is starting a business may not be fundamentally strong in both areas, given the experience that one has got. So it's first of all, there is a complementary team set that's required around these two things. If that is not there in the early stage, when there is only a 3-member, 4-member team, somebody should be very open to see what is happening and get people from outside. So that is something we see as an important element, how open they are to get somebody on board, plus how they are open to mentoring. And so there are 3 categories we sort of see. One is entrepreneur who readily accept whatever somebody subscribes. There is another category where we say that we are very stubborn, we don't want to change the plan. There is a third category is what most of the incubator or investors prefer is somebody who will really open to idea, test it out, believe, and then sort of implement. So that's the kind of people we sort of look for, again during our diligence stages. And the second important element in all this is, in successful factor, at least what you have seen, I don't want to cite any company name, which is a trust factor. I think trust is not a one-way channel, I think it's a two-way channel. It's both from investor as well as from the entrepreneur. So that's one key element we sort of see during the diligence process of that 60 to 90 days. Where are we able to sort of trust each other on things? Because a lot of sensitive information is going to come up once we sort of put the investment, both at the personal level and the professional level. Is the entrepreneur comfortable enough? The same, it's vice versa. Because most of the people who are here are running the fund are here for at least 8 to 10 years, for example, from the investor side. And it's the same for the entrepreneur as well. It's a long journey. So the trust is one key element which I would like to add. Is a thing that we sort of see whether it's there or not. So yeah, those are my 2 cents.
Am I allowed to say a couple of few odd things? Let me put it this way. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 18.5 years. When I started, I was 17.5 years old. So I started with the money of 49 rupees in my pocket and didn't have any kind of investor in my organization, the core organization. Make it in such extent that we are a product company with 327 guys working with us with approximately 98 CR turnover nowadays. And apart from that, I run several other 6 different businesses. In my small journey of 18.5 years, I have understood only one single thing. If your working desk is your bed, if your office room is your bedroom, and your lunchroom and your boardroom, then only the startup will happen. Otherwise, it won't. Whether there is fund or no fund, doesn't matter. If you have that kind of burning heart, you can do well. I'd like to put few of the examples in front of you guys, maybe which will be completely different, not from a perspective of investors, which actually impacts a different kind of community as well. You have heard about the northeast portion of India. There, if you go there, the family income of 5 different odd members is maximum 3,000 rupees. Family income. Okay, they can't survive properly. And when I started with a small, simple passion. I want to do something for India. But I started as a tech company. I'm a pure technocrat, pure technical guy. Okay, so I started in a different venture, which is into game development, virtual reality, simulations, medical simulations, your defense works and all, drone making, underwater drone making. So how can I, touch those people who are village guys, where maybe we can do something for them? That was the passion which drove me to Northeast, which drove me to Rajasthan and a few different odd places. What I found, passionate people, they wanted to do things in a very different way. They don't need money. If you give them money, they will ask you a simple question: why the hell you are giving me money? What is the intention? What is the hidden agenda, right? So we started with a small self-help group and taught them how to do knitting and how to make high fashion stuffs and all, right? And slowly, within a span of 6.5 months, from one village, we have got 5 different villages. People are making different kind of odd things. They are making kimchi, they are making pickles, they are making dresses, and we are trying to sell those kind of stuff. Actually, we are selling it, frankly speaking. And the livelihood of those kind of village people, that increased from 3,000 rupees per month basis to approximately 17,500 rupees per month basis, which give them a comfort zone where they are saying that, okay sir, we couldn't have any kind of pure water to drink in the village, so you are asking us to put up a pure water stuff kind of thing. Okay, fine, we'll do it, but we'll do it in a different way. So the way became a completely different way altogether again. So we found another entrepreneur coming up and raising his hand saying that I'll be starting one microfinance into the villages itself, and whatever water body, whatever solutions I can do regarding healthcare, I'm there. So we are making, you can say, those kind of odd people, crazy people, mad guys. Mad in my words are different. Mad in my dictionary is moderate, accurate and determined. So we usually go for those kind of mad people who think different, right? And certainly speaking, I'll be giving you 3 examples of 3 different guys. One person, I'm not sure whether you'll like it or not. There is a location called Arambagh nearby Bengal. I was mentoring few entrepreneurs over there through MSME department. One guy came in front of me, and while speaking his own experience, he started crying. His daughter was actually dead, and he started because he gave a word to his daughter that I'll earn money, because on those days he couldn't have money to survive. He couldn't feed her. Okay, so he started with clay pots and all. Now he is looking for something and saying that, sir, I don't want to make money, I just want to give my daughter a tribute. And he is crying in front of you, So those kind of situations I have been through. And this guy, frankly speaking, is right now doing very well, and he started a free school in his location, only for girls. So that's the kind of passion usually we look upon, or rather I look upon. Honestly speaking, the corporate world is completely different, and the world that we belong to, we means all of us, is different. Our entrepreneur, when he is going back to his home and he is putting his head into the pillow, he is alone, all alone. He can't share everything, each and everything with his family, maybe the better half, or maybe the husband. He can't, or she can't. It's different. It's completely different. Sometimes it happens, okay fine, things are going wrong, and you're thinking, okay fine, I know that this is going to happen wrong, but you have to accept the fact that, okay fine, I'm doing wrong. So these are the kind of stuffs which is our entrepreneur. So if you ask me, experience of entrepreneurs, I'm not sure, because there are a lot of stories, a lot of real facts with me, a lot of you can say crazy memories. A guy from a local school, he all of a sudden came down to my car and running around, trying to stop the car with his waving hands. A small guy, I think he was 16.5 years old. He's saying that I'm not putting up on any party name or politics name, but some party or some people, they have ruined his family. So he wants to do something good for his own village. He wants to make something good, but he doesn't have any money. He's trying hard. He's trying hard by selling small stuffs, whatever he can make. He's trying to do something which is not very legal. He's doing some kind of illegal stuff as well. But whatever he's earning, he is trying to put it to the community itself. And I thought that, okay fine, this guy can be a fine-tuned entrepreneur if you tune him up. Okay. These people, to be very honest, they don't have any qualification. The only qualification is the burning heart, nothing else. And trust me, nothing matters if you have a burning heart. And I agree with my fellow panelists. If you don't have the trust factor, when I put the hat of an investor and forget that I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I am different. I cannot think which is only by passion. I have to think for my investors as well, right? And if the trust factor is not there, it's really hard for us, you know, to take it forward. And to be very honest, it's a real fact. If you're investing in 10 different organizations, we don't expect that 10 will be successful companies. We expect max to max 1% will be a proper success. Proper success, I mean a proper success. Okay. So in those cases, sometimes we found people company. Sometimes we found a one-man show, one-man army kind of stuff. For him, we have to find a partner. Maybe a guy who is from the finance background. He doesn't understand anything else, but got an excellent product, got an excellent idea, got an excellent execution process. Everything is there, not scaling up because the people are not there. So our responsibility becomes that, okay, fine, let us mentor him, let us guide him so that he can grow. It's same, I guess, it's same for the each and every fund, whatever is there in, at least in India. We are not those kind of, you know, shrewd people, at least we Indians, we are not. Each and every investors, whoever is there in India, we feel that, okay, fine, let us help some guy, you know, if not through the fund, if not with the money, maybe with the guidance. I'm not sure how many of you will agree in the fact that to do business, you really don't need money initially, you know, you need customers, you need network. If you get both of them, you'll grow. It's easy, right? If somebody is there, if some group is there and he is a fund company and he's telling you, okay, fine, we can't fund you, but he will give you this network, this connection, this communication. That will help you. So that's how we can grow, right? And what you should say about entrepreneurship? Like, it's like if you tell that if you don't take risk, you're not going to succeed. At this stage, maybe in earlier stage, I would have accepted the fact, yes, you have to take risk. At this stage, I'll say you take a calculated risk, in a very calculated way. But whatever is there on the papers, it will never work in the real life. It's different, right? Just a suggestion, I'm not sure, I don't know the audience, but if you are an entrepreneur, if you're running one venture, you should have your backup plan ready. In this fast world, anything can happen. Technology may have been turned around approximately 360 degrees. So what will happen? You will die. So you can't accept the fact that you will be dying very soon. So you need to have at least 2 backup plans. So if you have plan A, you should have plan B and C. I'm not talking about different business. I'm talking about the same business, different backup plans. If you have that kind of structure, you will rise. Otherwise, it's difficult to sustain. Thank you.
Yeah, we already have been kind of shared with experiences from the people who have already taken the journey. I am one who has not taken the journey, but maybe in my career in banking of more than nearly 35 years, I would have held hands of many small entrepreneurs. So I am from State Bank of India. Right now I am heading the SBI Foundation. So we have seen in small places, in big places, small people, regular ordinary people having a burning heart, as he says, to do something, to make an impact and to start off with. And definitely we had the knack of spotting them, helping them. So all that, I can guess what they have said, that the sincerity, the commitment, the trust. So these are 3 things we looked forward to in them, and we invested our fund in them. It is their own fund, this was the bank's fund. But we trusted them, yes, this guy can do something. I will share one of my experience, a very humble experience which dates back to 1989 maybe. Those days I was an officer handling advances, agri advances. So one young man, he came up to me and he said, "Madam, I want to discuss something with you." I said, "Okay, sit down, discuss." So I found him to be a graduate, and his father is a small, a teacher in a small school, so they don't get paid regularly. Every 3 months or so they get paid. They have a house in a village, and they are Brahmins, so they cannot take to farming. Those areas they can't farm if they are Brahmins. So that's the limitation why though they have farmlands, he cannot do farming, and he has taken a course at the Agricultural University in mushroom cultivation. No. So those days NABARD had come up with a scheme of only 5,000 rupees. You trust only 5,000 rupees something, and we were giving hundreds and thousands of cash credit loans for paddy cultivation only. And my branch manager, who was old, about to retire, he said, okay, ACC में करो, agricultural cash credit limited दे दो, और कुछ मत करो. So this guy said that I want to go ahead with mushroom cultivation. So I discussed it with my branch manager. He said, don't get into all that. These are all land-based activities. कहाँ है उसका नाम में land नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. So everything it continued for 1 month. I saw some spark in that young man. So I said, no, if you only permit me, I can always give. And then out of the whole portfolio those days of nearly, that branch had 1.5 crores of agri advances spread over 158 villages. And the NPA ratio was more than 30%. And in 1990, the ARBR had to come. So we were making calculations which family will get something. I said, it will be one of them. So please allow me to experiment with that. I see something in that boy. But I will not give him to SEC loan to his father. Per acre was 2,500. I could give for 2 acres. They have land. He said, no, land is not in that. I said, we can find out the solution. That his father will say that I am allowing my son to do this in a patch of land, half of this room. And finally it clicked. And you will not believe, after 2 years, he was exporting mushroom. And in every shop, he was, his packs were there with the mushroom. And today, everybody else around in Bhubaneswar does that. And if you have visited Bhubaneswar and you leave airport to any destination, you will find on the roadside fresh mushrooms, which and so tasty, and the different variety of thing. So that's the journey of an entrepreneur. But that guy did have to go a lot of pain, a lot of things run around, and from small one thing then he expanded, then I left. So we are still in contact, and that's the journey. So trust, passion, and as you grow you learn the management technique. What I found lacking then, so there are many chemical industries here and there are all kinds of industries there whom we held hands to grow. So they were entrepreneurs, definitely. We invested not our personal fund but the bank's fund. We saw to it that it is well utilized, and we are giving him consultancy. So maybe a small shopkeeper, we help them maintain the accounts. He never knew. In big things, when we went for stock audit, we found they have no accountant, they have nothing. So we said, come down, sit down with our field officer. And when I had become a manager of SIV division, so many times we called our borrowers who had money, who were doing business but never knew how to maintain a stock register. Income tax to dur ki baat hai. So our people actually helped them write, maintain, and then said verified and then came. So that's the journey we have undertaken. And I was general manager in BKC, in our local head office, where we dealt with big borrowers and in all places. So they have chartered accountants who do and who misguide them, and that is where it goes wrong. So from my experience, what I am saying is that at any point of time, be law abiding and don't get misguided. I was in a place called Guntur, and it's such a rich place, and one cannot imagine. It has growing cotton business, it has tobacco, it has chili, but I had a portfolio of 1,000 crores of NPA. And many times, many people came, you come and you speak, Asha, I won't be going to anybody unless my money comes back. So my only thing is that be very strong to get anchored to the same passion, same commitment, same truthfulness, and the zeal to work on and never give up. But the management side also has to be very strong. So we look at the personal profile. Okay, how good is this person? And then as you grow, you need to learn that, how to manage it very well. Of all aspects of things. You have to be a good HR person, you have to be a good person in finance to understand the basics of finance, how it works, and then how to mitigate your risk, like the plan A, plan B, plan C that you. So mitigation of risk is very, very important. Otherwise you will be nowhere, you will left in the lurch. Now coming to whether SBI invests or SBI Foundation invests, we are in a true term, we will not be investing. We are not an investor. But as part of this CSR thing, we can invest in an incubation. If it has a value of CSR, we find value doing mass good and reaching out to, your outreach is very good and it is doing good to community, we will definitely do. But not in the way that a real personal investor would do, we will sit on your board, but definitely will mentor. Okay. Now that's one part of it, but it's not a very big fund. But if it is a very big scope, we are open about it. Now what State Bank of India does, so with all the startup and all that thing, the startup year, bank has already opened a branch in Bangalore only for startups. Whether you all know about it. The branch is called InCube branch, and that's where it holds hands of the startups, and it also joins the investor and the startup. So that's where you can get a platform, and it can help you open accounts, where to look for funding, which are the emerging areas, all that advice you can get. I can share with you the addresses, or you can look up in SBI InCube, Google, you will find. So that is the latest. It's already 9 months. It opened 14th of January 2016. So that's it. Thank you.
One line message to each one of them who will be pitching right now. Just one line message.
We'll give money. It's a good message. We try to give money.
See, your passion should be visible.
Yeah, precisely.
The passion should be very visible. It should writ large on your face.
So I'll just summarize the points: passion, determination, perseverance, honesty, flexibility, visionary, burning heart, spark, and of course ROI. So you all have to show them all these things when you're about to pitch right now. So
Can I
thank you
say
for.
a few words?
Yeah, sure.
थोड़ा जोक टाइप लग सकता है, ठीक है. There is a fine line I usually tell to the startups. VC और girlfriend के चक्कर में मत फंसो. On a serious note, if you have a running baby, the startup that is your baby, okay, you have to think that whether it's a boy or it's a girl. If you have a princess, you have to nourish a princess in a way so that she can become a princess, and she should find a prince at least. That's the fun part of it.
I can argue this.
Ma'am, actually, if you are running a venture, I'm not talking about that gender part. It's a fine line which should be there. That's the reason I have converted the same. It's practically, if you are looking for money, sometimes startup feel that I'm not ready to share my venture in a way so that people cannot invest. Sometimes it happens that I would like to share approximately 20% of my equity, not more than that, but I'm looking for money of say 15 CR and my valuations is X. So usually I suggest don't look for valuations, look for something which is 10x better product, money will flow.
questions that you all have? Or shall we start? We are running short of time.
I just have one question. If most of the investors, when they invest, what are they looking like? Return of investment, of course, but are you looking at taking equity stake in the company, or in the beginning, or what else?
Yeah, I mean, we take equity stakes. We basically become part owners of the business. And if the business does well, we share all the upside. If the business doesn't do well, we share all the downside.
Alright, so we'll have a short break of tea, coffee. In the meanwhile, we'll ask all of the participants to come and start for the pitching session.